What's going on, guys? So, I was just thinking about my upbringing and how not only me feeling insecure at a time about not having a big kind of social circle and active social life that involved going out at night, going to bars and that kind of stuff, but why I think most self-respecting, decent, good men are probably going to not have much of a social life at all. They're probably going to be in many cases single. I'm not saying they're going to be totally isolated. They might have a few friends, but they're going to have a close circle. They might even have one very good friend, which, again, if you can have one very good friend who has your back, consider yourself blessed. I'd much rather take that over 100 different people who are not really there for you or don't have your best interest. But when I look around and I see not only how much more surface level things have gotten to be, but even what people would consider social interactions, especially in the city I'm in, and many years ago in the age demographic that I was in, where pretty much everything around social life or interactions involved some form of substance. It involved going out to bars and drinking, going out to nightclubs. It involved behavior that really, at a subconscious level, I felt was wrong. I couldn't even know why at the time because it was subconscious, but I was like, seemingly it was something everyone else was doing, but I was thinking to myself, this is something where I just don't want to conform and give in because I can see that this is wrong. You shouldn't need a substance. You shouldn't need to ingest something that's going to make you not be your real self to socialize. That doesn't seem like real peace of mind. That doesn't seem like real confidence in who you are as a person. That seems very insecure and shallow to me. So it's not something I really got involved in, although there was a lot of pressure when I was younger. I went to a nightclub a few times, didn't like them, and now I can see why a lot of people say bad things about them. But as I got older through the years, I look back and I think how foolish I was to be insecure about not being part of those things. Because I've seen so many people who have substance abuse issues. I've seen so many people who have gone in big trouble with nightclubs, with knocking up and hookups and stuff like that, and flings and that kind of stuff. I've seen the damage that is done to people as they get closer to the age of 30 and even beyond that, because there are some people who are even in their 30s and 40s that still have not grown out of that behavior. But I've just seen how detrimental it is. And I just think how foolish I was to be so insecure about it, to even want to be part of this nonsense. This was a time before I had God in my life. This was a time before I had good friends in my life. This was a time before I made closer relationships with family members. And it was ultimately a time where I was mentally all over the place. Not in a good place, quite frankly. So even when you look at the way people are now, with the rise in kind of narcissistic behavior, another word I could call for it is just very dismissive of people's well-being. Even at your local store, you might not have much of an interaction at all. I was at a grocery store the other day, and the cashier